Yeah, yeah. Never not, never under y'all, never ever, I'm forever on. Check my repertoire, check my repertoire, don't check me now. Let's just check involved. I've been feeling like I'm next to God, next to God, next to God.
So my sister said something to me one time about like, she said that you make everybody feel like they're somebody. And I took that like really well. I was like, oh, I was like, that's my goal. Like whenever I'm interacting with somebody, you may be a side character in my story, but you are the main character in yours. So like I'll hear dudes say things that gives me like a view into their mind, right? They'll say something and it's like a negative statement about themselves. And I'm like, first off, you don't know me that well. Second off, if you're willing to say that out loud to people that you don't know, I could only imagine what you're saying inside of your own head to yourself. Yes. So then that's when I stop them in the middle of that conversation. I'm like, bro, and then I'll tell them a little personal thing about me. I was like, whenever I used to talk like that, I was saying some fucked up shit to myself.
Yes.
And I was like, dude, so whatever it is that you're dealing with right now, you're not the only one, and it gets better, and so on and so forth. And I do my whole spiel about therapy and shit, and then I'll sit there and I'll talk to them about whatever it is that they're going through. And almost 90% of the time they will open up and like tell you about whatever the fuck it is. And what sucks is that it helps them. And I say it sucks because then they take that and they think that, well, that's a good supplement for therapy. It's like, no, that was a Band-Aid.
Right.
Like
right.
that was a Band-Aid. What you really need is somebody to help you, teach you how to communicate with yourself and work on those self-worth issues, because one of my cognitions was that I was not worthy of love because of my childhood and the way that I grew up. So that was how I interacted with everyone. It's like, I'm already not worthy, so that means you're not worthy. Why would I give you love? Why would I give anybody love? Why would I give anybody anything? Like, fuck everybody. And then it took me going to the military and like learning brotherhood basically, and like what this means, like this connection to another human being and why it's so important. And if anybody out there is like dealing with these kind of, we like to push these things aside like they're not that big a deal, like these thoughts like, nah, you're a turd, or they can be real like, ubiquitous or whatever, real like hidden and not real catalyst, I guess you would say. But those little things over a long period of time become a fucking big thing. And it's this belief that like, I suck, or I'm not good enough, or I could have done more, or it was this and it was that. And it's like, you go and sit down with a therapist and you talk about these things, you start to realize that I'm actually kind of dumb, and that's not how that situation played out at all. And what I'm thinking is dumb, and I shouldn't be saying these kind of things to myself, because then half the time you end up saying that kind of thing to your best friend or your kid, and you like project this feeling of, from yourself. Like we were talking about the shadow, like when you're putting all that shit in the dark, it's going to project out into the light eventually. That's how you're going to interact with reality. And
you kind of provoked something with me that I've experienced and kind of been able to see in myself, is that a lot of those negative self-harmful sentences, they manifest into very intrusive thoughts.
Yes.
And usually those intrusive thoughts are extremely vivid, and you have a physiological reaction to them.
Yes.
So if you consistently tell yourself that you're not worth it, you're a piece of shit, she doesn't love you, you're just a fucking side piece, whatever it is, those start to manifest into really vivid, awful experiences for yourself, right?
Both mentally and physiologically.
Absolutely, man. So you start to, I won't specify the timeline. One of my friends, he was experiencing a lot of intrusive thoughts, and they were from a realm of him and his girlfriend had broken up, and she had slept with another man. So he kept having these intrusive ass fucking thoughts that were coming into his head of, him fucking her going down on him, all these things that they were causing him to become physically ill. All he could do is like kind of like go from shambling into the kitchen to eat something to back in the bed, like a real depression, man. Those are difficult to deal with, right? And sometimes those manifestations have nothing to do with sexuality, and they have everything to do with very uncomfortable imagery. Just morbid shit that you're seeing in your head, and most of it has to do with self-harm. Most of it has to do with you fucking spending every day being like, you're a piece of shit, you're worthless, you're garbage.
Yeah.
There was something else that you had provoked me to say. I hope I remember it with what you were talking about. It was
with those
beneficial.
Those intrusive thoughts specifically, like when you're visualizing your partner having sex with another person, this is something that I've dealt with personally, right? And it's like you have to ask yourself two questions. It's like, why does it matter? Why does her sleeping with this other dude matter to me? And the question is that the answer for me was, well, because I thought she was, true to me. I want her to
special.
Maybe not special so much, but it's like when you're in a committed relationship, it's like a promise. Like you have faith, and faith is a tricky word, especially when you're not religious anymore, right? So I'm vulnerable and I'm allowing you to hurt me, and I have faith that you won't hurt me. But then you get into this point where she does hurt you, and it's like, okay, why does it matter to me that she hurt me? Like, and for me, I go down that list of intensity. Like, am I going to die? No, I'm not going to die. So why does this hurt? Because I thought this was something other than what it was. Oh, okay. So what did I think it was? And then I figure out what I thought it was. And I thought she was faithful, and I thought she was this person, and I thought this, and I thought that. It's like, okay, so what actually is this? And then it's like, oh, fuck. And it's this crumbling of this future that you were holding with this person that you thought, you know what I mean? And specifically with these kind of things, unless you're very practiced in them, they are painful, and it is very hard to do. And it's really, really easy to fall off this track into the world of, this really sucks. I want this pain to go away. I'm going to make this pain go away right the fuck now. And that's where a lot of my friends, are no longer with us because they were on these tracks and they slipped. And there's only so many times you can have these intrusive thoughts before you fall off that track. Dude. And what therapy does is it gives you a safe space to air these things out. And like, this person, either A, you think does not judge me and won't care what I say, or B, this person actually cares enough to listen to what I have to say. And both of those things make it a safe place. So then when you're venting these things out of you and like they're coming out, and the hard thing is that you have to fight with this internal programming that we've been programmed to do, which is repress this. I feel something negative. I need to not feel negative, so I'm going to push it away. But all that's doing is making you feel it eventually down the line. So I got to feel it all, and I got to feel it all right now, right? And I'm going to try to make it all come out. And, sometimes it doesn't all come out, and I just feel a little bit better because I cried and I told my boy what was up, or I told the therapist, and then a week goes by and something else comes up, and then you go talk to him again. And then through that constant practice of doing this with the therapist, of like her walking you through these cognitions, because I will promise everybody out there, a therapist will never tell you anything that you didn't already fucking know. They only tell you things that you're not willing to admit to yourself. And that nothing I've ever said in this podcast is more true than that. But when you're doing this, you have to practice and put into motion this battle drill of thought, because you already have one that's established, and the one that you have established is maladaptive, right? So things that you're saying to yourself are not true. You just believe them. That doesn't make something true just because you believe it. And I think that's where at the beginning of this conversation, what was really the point that we're trying to drive home now, is like, what you believe does not mean it's a fact. You believe it because of your feelings. And it's this cognitive triad that just keeps going around, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Absolutely. And so you can see this manifesting in a lot of ways on like TikTok or on Instagram, the Reels side of the house, right? So I don't know if you guys are on those platforms. Yeah. So in the gym side of that, when your algorithm lands on like the fitness realm, you see a lot of these reels or TikToks of guys talking about like, hey, I'll be going to the gym with the boys. Someone asks like, who's the boys? And it's depression, anxiety, self-hatred, like all this shit, right? Or it's like these really dramatic fucking things of like, why I squat so heavy. It's because I fucking hate myself. What sucks about that, dude, is it's showing people who aren't in that mindset that they need that mindset. Or the reels that follow before that are like, hey, just ask the chick out, because if she says yes, then you get a girlfriend. Or if she says no, you have fucking a couple months of gym motivation. And it's like, you know, what the fuck? Like, why do you need this? You know, like they're like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, why?
I see both sides of that, though. I think some of that is like is positive in the sense that, oh, this dude feels that too. This dude, I have a connection somewhere with somebody else. Correct. But the next step is that's not normal. That's not okay. And if it is normal, we need to make it not normal.
And so there's a plethora of answers to the test, right? So them saying like, why I do this is because I have self-hatred. Okay, so that's showing maybe someone that it's like, hey, maybe this is a way to fix my self-hatred is go into the gym, work out. Right? Yeah. Because then I can establish self-worth in my physical body that might reflect into my mind. Okay, so that's an answer to the test.
Which it absolutely does.
It absolutely does, dude. It's the look good, feel good, be good shit, right? Yeah. It's a simple manifestation.
But that's not everything.
No. I mean, there's some of the most like fragile people I've met emotionally are like some of the strongest people physically that I've met. It's like you have to play a balancing act in your body of like the different types of intelligence, be it physical, emotional, spiritual, any sort of intelligence that you can deem for the human experience. It's probably better to try to balance those other than be like, nah, man, I'm going to swallow my fucking self-hatred and depression and my anxiety and get swole, bro. Like I'm going to bench trucks. Like, yeah. And so this is a realm that I was in for years, dude, that I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and this was all manifesting itself into very toxic living environments for myself. Thank the fucking universe or God, man, for therapy to be able to, what therapy did for me is it asked me questions. It didn't give me answers. It asked me all the right questions, such as one of the best ones, dude, is why is that such a bad thing?
Yep.
That is a fucking wonderful question. And that came during a session that I was like, I just don't see, like a lot of my life, my core elements of existence have been that I am pursuing to have an emotional reaction to something. I brought up baptism at the beginning of this podcast. I did that for the sake of trying to feel that Holy Spirit or whatever. And I felt nothing. I graduated from high school. I didn't feel what all these fucking chicks are crying, dude. Dudes are fucking all excited. And I'm like, I'm null. Like my emotional spectrum is just like, yeah, okay, so we're done here. I mean, I had just like a week prior and I was in basic training. So or a week after graduating and I was in basic training. Yeah. So I thought graduating from basic was going to be this huge thing, right? I'm finally a fucking soldier. Like, no, it wasn't, bro. I thought getting through the OSUT training was going to be the same. I thought getting out of the military, I thought all of these fucking points would inspire some sort of heavy emotional reaction because that's what I was force-fed from media, right? Yeah. On Instagram and Facebook and shit, everyone gets so excited when they get married. No, like there was no serious emotional reaction to these moments.
Until you looked back and realized it was the experience itself that was making you feel something.
Correct. Yeah. And so with therapy asking me like, so why is that such a bad thing? I was like, yeah, maybe it's not. Maybe that's not such a bad thing.
And then back to that intrusive thoughts about the woman.
Yes.
The conclusion after you go through that whole pattern is that's the next question. Is why is that so bad that she cheated on you? Why is it so bad? Because the answer is, would you have preferred to have stayed with a woman who was cheating on you and you just didn't know? Would you have preferred to stay with a woman who was capable of that and just didn't act on it? Would you, what is it that you actually wanted? So like you can turn it into like a positive, and then that's when you start getting goal oriented. And then that's where you can be like, all right, this is what I actually want. And this is the behaviors that I'm going to do in order to achieve my goal.
Correct.
But then you fall back into that subconscious where you're like, all right, well, now I'm just going to enjoy the journey. And when it comes, it comes. And if it doesn't,
so be it.
It is what it is.
So be it mindset. I know with my own intrusive thoughts, I saw all of my shit manifest into very morbid imagery, and it usually came to me right before I would fall asleep. Right before, in that state, right when you feel like you fall off the cliff, about that period of sleep is when I would get these fucking intrusive ass thoughts of fucked up human beings or imagery that just made me feel uncomfortable, whatever that was. And when I brought that into therapy, this is one of the driving reasons I left therapy, is that when I brought these up, and I was like, I'm having these images come into my head that I can't explain. And at the time I had no frame of reference of what it could be. And she said, let me consult my cohort. So it made me feel extremely fucking isolated, bro. That it's like, wait, this is your job to know answers to this shit, or at least guide me on it, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know? That's not good. That's not fucking good.
So those I've experienced that myself. But my therapist didn't do the consulting. She recommended something called EMDR, which is I think it's it's eye mobilization reprogram. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's basically
with REM sleep, right?
It's similar. So you can do with your eyes, or you can do it with I have friends that have done it with vibrating rocks or heating pads. So the concept essentially is bringing your attention to something outside of your head, right? So either it's the eye moving back and forth like this, following a light, which is what I did, or you have a vibrating rock in one hand and it'll vibrate over here, so your attention is distracted from within here. So then you basically go through what's called a biopsychosocial, and we understand that humans at certain stages of their life go through different developmental phases. So there's birth to 3 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 18. And then for me specifically, it was adult military and adult civilian, and they separated it at that fork. And then she asked a bunch of qualifying questions about each stage of my life. And they were the same qualifying questions. And I wish I could remember what they were, because there was a fuck ton of them. But it was did you ever experience a period where you possibly could have died? Did you ever experience a natural disaster? Did you ever experience severe hunger? A bunch of traumatic events, and just went through a huge list of them and at different stages of my life. So go metacognitive for just a second. What that allowed me to do was put all my things where they belonged.
File.
I put them where they are, and I'm okay, so I can see what things are now. And then she asked, in your everyday life, how much does this one affect you versus this one? And every event, I didn't actually have to tell her what these events were. I just put a name to them, right? So there was a folder name, cereal, bathtub, whatever, was a couple of mine. So she never actually knew any of them, so I didn't have to, you know what I mean? So she would tell me to watch the light and then think about this specific experience. And well, one of them was called cereal, where the neighbors used to find me in the front yard butt naked, right? And they would feed me when I was 2 or 3 years old. And my people at the time were doing whatever inside the house, you know what I mean? So she asked me, what does that make you feel, right? She told me to go into that memory and feel it. And when you're in that memory, you get a list of what's called cognitions, and I'll put them up on the post edit, but it's I am worthless, I am powerless, and there's a huge list of them, and it's all oriented towards the self. So this one specifically, I was I feel worthless, right? I feel worthless. The people who are supposed to give a fuck about me don't actually give a fuck about me. So during that feeling, she tells you to chant it to yourself, basically. Tell yourself that you are worthless while you're doing this EMD, while you're watching this light, and it's I'm worthless. I am worthless. And then in my head, there's a point where it's this other voice in your head comes out and it's no, you're not. The fuck? You're not worthless. You were a kid, right? You're a kid. You had no control over that situation, right? They are somebody other than you, right? Because this is the concept is I can only control my actions and my reactions. Other people aren't involved in that. So, all right, that's about me. And then you go through this conversation and you cry and you feel it all the way through. And then you take breaks sometimes depending on how intense it is. Because I'm going to tell you, anybody who's thinking about doing this, it's fucking intense. Mm-hmm. It is super intense. And then you get through that, and then she asks, what do you want this cognition to be? Like, what do you want to think? And I was like, well, I'm worthy. I am worthwhile. Right? So then you start chanting that to yourself, and then you fucking cry because you're happy. Like, so then you do that to all of these different, right? I'm going to take myself out of that one. And there was like, I had 22 of them. So you do like all these different ones. And what ends up happening is there's an aspect that longitudinally is the same emotion through all of these different experiences. So once I did this one, this other one over here started to change. This other one started to feel a little bit better, or this one dropped down and was the worst one. Because with EMDR, things get worse before they get better. But when you get all the way through it and you graduate or whatever, it gets a lot better. So these thoughts and these feelings, when they're coming to you, right, it's you trying to tell you something. Mm-hmm. You are trying to deal with something, and your body and your mind is trying to get you to deal with it. And again, it goes back to you never get told something you didn't already fucking know, you know. And I don't recommend people jump straight into EMDR. I recommend you go to cognitive behavioral therapy first, because it'll teach you these conversations to have in your head. Yes. Because it's really easy to get stuck in like, well, I couldn't imagine telling myself that I am worthless over and over again, because you get stuck in a for loop without a condition to reset it.
Right.
Another experience I had in therapy was in a group therapy session. And the therapist told me, this is in front of everybody, bro, to go over to the mirror in the corner and to stare at myself for 60 seconds in the eyes, like look into my fucking soul, I guess. And at the end of that 60 seconds, she said, I want you to say something good and positive about yourself out loud. And the moment I knew I was fucked up was the moment I sat there for another 2 minutes after that and could not talk and just cried. I couldn't say one positive thing about myself. And that was like, fuck, dude, fuck. And then that's when I started taking therapy pretty serious. And I was like, all right, this is fucked up. And I know there's dudes out there right now that are like just stuck. Yeah. And it's not like manifesting in a super negative way, but they're literally living their lives in pain when they don't have to. And some of this is because they're stuck in a certain religion that doesn't believe in some of these concepts, or they're stuck in a certain thought pattern because of their parents. And it's like, bro, you don't have to be where you are right now. You can get better. Things get better. If things aren't better, it's not the fucking end.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that really helped me is being able to decide that ask yourself rather, how much longer do I need to be this way? How much longer do I have to be unhappy with myself?
Yeah.
And being able to actually make that decision, that executive choice of like, I'm either going to fix this or I'm going to fix this. Like, I have a solution presented here. And unfortunately, that question is usually presented at a time right after a very serious decision was not made. Right. Especially for myself in the realm of suicidal thoughts. Yeah. I experienced suicidal thoughts more than half of my life. I really don't remember a portion of my life that wasn't invested into that. I really don't. It was just always like a reoccurring idea, especially personally. If I was unhappy, I was like, this is exactly why you should kill yourself. Right. And if I was happy, I would say, I don't deserve this. You should probably kill yourself. Yeah. So it was the cyclicality of it. And I'm not alone in those thoughts. These are probably extremely common, right? No. But it came to a point in very recent history that I was able to be like, how much longer do I have to be this way? Because I can't do it anymore. I cannot be this unhappy anymore. I have to rectify this. And so the pursuit of understanding yourself begins at that point. And it comes with a goddamn ultimatum that you make to yourself, whatever that is. Mine was that I'm either going to fix it or I'm going to fix it. There's a solution at either end of this tunnel. I just have to fucking give this one the honest try. And what's incredible, man, is it's almost like a manifestation. That's where you start to meet people that you need.
Yeah.
It's like you can fucking there's something to say about like an energy read, dude. There's something to say about it because like personally, like meeting you, Danley, like there was nothing there other than like I was seeking somebody like that, like you, right?
Yeah.
To seek out that type of mentality. And it just fucking it happened on a bus. Like, you know, it like there was no purpose to it. Like there was no actual physical intent of like, I need this, I'm gonna go grab it. It was just a manifestation of such, right? When you open your doors, opportunity can come in or you can go out, right? So again, it comes back to the cataclysms of choice, and
it goes back to that attention thing.
Yes,
you literally needed something, so you started looking for it because you recognized the fact that you were deficient in a certain need that you had, because that's what it was. And then you saw something in somebody else that had it, because I was doing the same shit. You know what I mean? I was like, I'd come to a point where I was like, bro, I'm gonna fucking take every piece of information from every single human I interact with that will help me. I don't give a fuck what it is, because I've had that gun in my hands too many times. You know what I mean? And then it's like, I've taken the gun from a few of my friends, you know what I mean? And then in that moment, you're like, fuck, bro, like I've been there too, right? Like we're in this darkness together. Like, cause the hard part is like talking to people who have never been in that darkness, so they don't fully understand what it's like. All right. So like when you're approaching these people who are having these suicidal ideations or whatever, the only thing I want is for my emotions to be validated. I just want you to be there and experience this with me and sit there, and it doesn't matter what the fuck we do. I'm just not trying to be alone at this moment, or like, and then, but past that, I want this fixed. I want this gone. I want to not feel like this, but I'm stuck because I think this of myself. So there's no way out of it other than to go and get some input that counteracts this idea that I have in my head. And when you're stuck like that, it's really hard to go ask for help. And this is a fucking hard part, is like, bro, when you're having those thoughts and when you're having those feelings, it's not abnormal, but it is not okay.
Correct.
Right? It's we all have them, and people who don't admit to it doesn't mean that they don't have it. Right? Everybody has it on some spectrum, but especially in our line of work, in the military or whatever, we're so used to death that death becomes an answer almost immediately. Almost fucking immediately. And then when you're talking about these faith-based systems that we have, if there's a good place to go to, I'd rather be there than here. And if there's nothing, I'd rather have nothing than pain. Right.
So, what's the first time that a human being can truly relate to like the coyote chewing his leg off in the bear trap? And that's the one analogy that I could come up with the last time I was dealing with fucking spinning a gun, right? Like it's the last thought that I had, and my solutions were all the wrong ones. Realistically, I felt like I had nobody to call. I felt like I had no one to reach out to, because there's a conditioning that occurs with a lot of young men that when you come to someone with an issue, they conduct the suicide Olympics with you. And you say, hey, man, I'm really unhappy today because of XYZ. And they're like, oh, that's nothing, bro. You don't know what cold is, or whatever the case is. And they want to conduct the fucking suicide Olympics with you.
Trauma is trauma is trauma.
Yes, dude.
Doesn't matter.
So there's no such thing as like this one's worse than this one, because we're not the same human being. We've not even existed on the same plane half the time.
And if that was true and yours is worse than mine and you don't know how to help me, you're a dickhead.
Correct. Yes, dude. So one of the things that I was conditioned for me is like, if you go to someone with your issues, they're going to make it about theirs. So there's no one to go to, because what you need is absolutely what you said, validation of the feeling. So my solutions in those times have always been to overindulge into substance until you're physically incapable of pulling a trigger. Because if you can mix Benadryl and fucking Maker's Mark whiskey, bro, like you can't do dick. So that's right. You push the phone a little further away, the gun a little further away, the bottle a little closer, right? And that was the last manifesting thought that I had, is I know exactly what it's like for the coyote now. That was the last thing I cognitively remember for that night. And what fucking is whack, dude, about the whole situation is the next morning I woke up and I put on a bulletproof vest and got in a squad car and just went off and like started enforcing state law. You know what I mean? Like, that's not fucking okay. Like, that's not okay. That is not a good place to be. But there's this weird justification that you'll play in these situations where you're like, no, I'm good now. Like, yeah, I just had to open the lid for a little bit. You know, I had to vent that shit off. And now, no, I'm fine.
Close the
now.
bottle again and put the CD back in.
And you're able to justify it. Like, one of the slogans of choice for me was like, I'm really good at developing scar tissue. Like, I'll get hurt once. I'll fucking deal with that emotion once. And then after that, scar tissue, bro. Like, I'm set. I'm good. No harm, no foul. Move on. And what sucks, man, is I think I was telling you about this, man, that you'll go to a critical incident. You'll have a serious incident occur. And you go to what's called like a debriefing where all the officers sit down and you're like, hey, is everybody okay? Everybody lies. It's the first time that in my life that I was like, oh, this is what the fucking media means by like toxic masculinity, dude. This is what that is it's this like, nah, bro, I'm good, bro. Unbreakable, dog. Like, fucking, let's go do it again. Like, everyone starts dealing with it with humor, whatever that case is, right?
You just saw a dead kid, bro. Yeah. It's okay to be fucked up.
It's okay to not be happy about it, right? It's like, you can fucking, like, you don't have to joke about it. Yeah. It's okay. But nobody wants to do that, dude. Nobody. Because I'm a soldier, I'm a cop, or I'm the sergeant, so I can't have feelings, right? So you just fucking lid goes on, dude. I'll deal with that later, and you shove it away.
So there's this stigma with mental health and like these things where you're broken. That's the viewpoint of it. Is like you're broken if you feel these things. And in my mind now, and how many people I've talked to in my life that are experiencing the exact same thing, but just on a different plane. You know what I mean? Like what we just said between the two of us, right? And I'm sure Juan has dealt with something similar. It may not be the exact same in actuality, but in the geometry, the shape of it, it's the same. It's the fucking same. So it's more normal that these feelings occur in people than it is that they don't. Yeah. So if you're not feeling these things, that's abnormal.
Yes.
And then when we're still thinking about this stigma where these people are broken, well, nobody wants to be broken because how do you fix me? Right? What's the fix then if I'm broken? Because broken to me means it's unfixable. You can't fix it, right? If it's damaged, you can fix it for sure. But when we think about these things now, it's like, well, no, these are just normal reactions, and I just have to learn a few things about the way that my mind works and these cognitions and these generational traumas that we experience. Then things get easier, and the response to these hardcore events is not just, oh, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
suffer in silence.
Yeah. And just what you're doing is you're just repressing these feelings. You're just not thinking about it. When people ask you that question, like, are you okay? You literally have to sit there and think about it for a second, because especially coming off of a critical incident like that, right? I know in my tours or whatever, when we would do that, it's like you don't get time to chill. You don't have time to like let it sit in and think about it. And then that's why when you come home, all of these things start coming back and you're like, fuck. And I'm sure in a police environment, it's completely different in the sense that you come home that night. So that feeling is like right then and there, super intense. You push it away, go back to work. Same thing happens again. Super intense, push it away, go back to work. And it's this fucking continual repetition. So the goal, I feel like, is to change the stigma on mental health. Because when you tell somebody that you have a disorder, people think of it as a disease. No, I have a disorder, right? I'm diagnosed technically with MDD, which is massive or major depressive disorder. So my baseline is for gravity to take a hold and me go depressed. So I understand that pattern about myself. I can take actions against said pattern. Once I understand it, I recognize the pattern. I can make a battle plan to fucking counteract it. Right. So in my mind, yes, I may have this disorder, but I have a fucking mitigating circumstances or mitigation techniques in order to not allow these things to affect my behavior. And if we look at it like that, it's like, okay, well, these problems can be solved for sure. And it's not always medication, because the likelihood of you getting pills thrown at you, like what ends up happening is people say, I'm having these intrusive thoughts, and you go to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist will only push meds because that's what they're trained to do. If you go to a psychologist, they don't push meds because they can't. They give you therapy. There's a difference. Right. And the psychiatrist, his goal is to change the neural pathways in your mind. He's essentially creating fire control measures, right? Not allowing your brain to go too far this way or too far this way. But especially in adolescence, when you medicate adolescents, because they're going through such a developmental phase, you end up causing the problem that you're trying to fix. Mm-hmm. Right. So this medication stuff is very hard to talk about. But when you're talking about the cognition side of it, there's a logic to it, right? You may not be able to see somebody's logic pattern, but when I sit here and I talk to you, you can understand what I'm saying because that's the power of language. Like that's how we're transposing these informations back and forth to each other. So that's why I personally think a psychologist is better than a psychiatrist, but that's not to say that some people don't need the medication because the effects are so large.
It should be a last resort in my opinion. And that's what I usually preach to people is like, before you go to pharmaceuticals, exhaust all other resources, bro. Like, because unfortunately, when you go to the pill, you have to, it's bracketing, man. They give you a dosage that's either too big or too small, and then they have to walk it in to be the target effect like that is desired. So if it's an anxiety pill, right, you have to you start with a dose that's too high. It makes you feel like shit. You're lethargic or too hyper. A lot of the time for anxiety, they give you fucking stimulants to be able to focus you. And I believe like Adderall is one of them, right? For an anxiety cure, air quotes around that, right? And usually you'll hear people that are fresh to the meds be like, I don't like the way it makes me feel, so I don't take it, so I just deal with my anxiety by fucking hitting my dog, right? Like they don't address it correctly instead of going back to the doctor and allowing that bracketing to occur where then they'll fucking half the dosage and you're like, I'm still anxious. And then they fucking quarter it back up or whatever the case is. I always recommend.
I had to do both. I got medicated. They put me on Prozac and which is fluoxetine, and they put me on something else, trazodone and something else. But one of them was a mood stabilizer, one of them is an antidepressant, and then something else for
Prozac
sleep.
or some shit.
Oh, that's the fluoxetine is Prozac. Yeah. But what it did was it allowed my thoughts to be like in this box. It wasn't too crazy one way and it wasn't too crazy another way. And it kind of regulated my mood and my behavior a little bit. So then when I went to therapy, I wasn't fucking already all over the place. I was already here. So then when I went through therapy, I don't take any of those meds anymore. And I feel like I'm pretty adaptive and I'm pretty good to go now. That's not to say I don't have my moments or whatever, but then I have what's called coping mechanisms that aren't maladaptive. Like one of the coping mechanisms that you talked about was drinking. That's a coping mechanism that all of us know too well, where the moment I feel any type of anxiety, I'm going to go drink a beer to chill the fuck out. Yep. And what you're teaching your body is that the moment I feel this, I need this, instead of being able to rectify it without some external influence on me. Like for me as a drug addict growing up, right, I smoked a fuck ton of meth. When they used to try to medicate me in rehab, I was like, so you're telling me that you want me to stop doing this drug to do this one? That doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make sense to me. You want me to stop being addicted here, but this is not abuse anymore. This is just normal to take this shit. I need some external thing to make me right. And I took personal offense to that. Now, I'm an adult and I understand what it is, you know what I mean? And you can eventually wean yourself off some of these medications. So taking certain medications is nothing to scoff at. It's a very serious decision. But in conjunction with therapy, it's very positive. But doing one without the other is not always the answer, right? Just taking a bunch of pills, because what ends up happening is you'll take all these meds, and when they're trying to bracket you, you're like, I still have these thoughts. I'm still having these feelings. Well, no fucking shit. No shit. Those thoughts are never going to go away unless you work on those thoughts specifically. So.
And that's the problem with a lot of like the microwave culture is that they're looking for the fix, not the cure. It's not inoculation, it's termination. It's the idea that if I take this pill, I stop thinking shitty.
Yeah. Instead of
bro.
having to do the work to stop thinking.
It's no longer, it's a solution, not a tool. When Adderall could be a Ritalin or Vicodin or any of these things could be wonderful tools. Unfortunately, I don't think it's conveyed that way in the office very often.
No.
It's, well, you need Ritalin, bro. That's what you need. Here's a prescription for it. Instead of, how about you use Ritalin and see if this can be beneficial in this setting for you.
Yeah.
Let's enable you to be a better version of yourself, to be able to address these things. That's why I love right now with the veteran community in general, with them trying to do like microdosing of mushrooms, allowing for like CBD ingestion, all these things to allow the mind to attack the same problem for a whole new angle.
Yeah.
It's no longer the same battle space. You're taking what used to be like a ground war and turning it into a fucking air war. You've changed the fucking approach method. And this is
War isn't two-dimensional, it's three-dimensional. It's asymmetrical.
So it's okay to enable yourself to fucking address that same target from a new angle.
Yep.
Because your method, more than likely, if for the majority of the people who've gotten to this point in the podcast, you're probably not dealing with it correctly as you could be. You're probably not doing it wrong, but there's a way to enable yourself to be the better version of yourself. It doesn't have to be through drugs, but it can be through talking to the right human beings. I know for me,
it's also the way you approach the situation and the way that you're interacting.
Like a lot of things, like we're taught force. Nothing is manifestation in the military. You have to fucking break the thing into place. Go to any motor pool. You'll see that firsthand, like with them fixing trucks. They're like, well, this won't fucking fit. And they're like, make it fit.
Make the hammer, baby.
Yeah, fucking hit that bitch. You know what I mean? That's not always the case. Sometimes you have to just allow the answers to present themselves. You have to allow the experience to occur. Yep. A lot of these intrusive thoughts, man, and a lot of these shitty feelings, sometimes you just have to accept it, that this is what it's going to be for the day. Okay. Let's walk it through. Let's think about it realistically. What you stated earlier, Danley, is perfect. Being able to be like, where is this coming from? How do I identify this? So that's one of the things from therapy, that the easiest question to ask, like, what era of me is this to start with? Is this little me? Is this teenage me, adult me, this, adult me, that?
And it's okay if the answer doesn't present itself. You ask a different question. Then.
Yes.
The next question is something different.
Right.
And then whatever resonates with you is like what the answer is. And then maybe you go down that train of thought and you're like, well, nope, that wasn't it.
This wasn't the root.
Yeah, that was bullshit. I made all that up. And then you go back and then you're like, all right, well, what is this? And then something else comes up. And you have to literally go down all of those branches. Yes,
dude. And there's something to say about being present with your shitty self. Because the usual reaction is to prevent the presence of such. The usual reaction is to run from that feeling as fast as you can into a substance or distraction.
Yep.
Being able to turn those off, man, and be like, let's fucking work through this or look at this. That there's something to say about it. It's powerful. And
so there's this concept, and I don't remember who it was. It may be a Jungian concept, but it's like the moment you have an experience like that, you've split your psyche in two. So there's a part of you over here that wants something, and there's a part of you over here that wants something, and this dissonance or this resistance that you're feeling between you is really about you. It's all you at the end of the day. So what you have to do is you have to like have empathy for that other side of yourself and be like, all right, bro, like, why do you want to go smoke meth right now? Like, what? Why?
Right.
And then you let him talk. You let him say his piece, and once he says his piece, he's been heard. And then you'd be like, but we're not going to do that because of this. And then you explain to him like, yo, that's not what we agreed on. Like, this is what we agreed on. This is what we're going to do. Like, this is how we decided we were going to live. And I know that's what you want, bro, but that's not who we are anymore, And then once you've done that, you basically like subsume it back into you. It's like and then you're whole again.
Mm-hmm. So it's the concept of being allowed. You are allowed to argue with yourself. You're allowed to be fucking your own voice of discontent. You're allowed to fucking debate the issue.
You're allowed to rebel against yourself.
Dude,
you're allowed to.
Yeah. And so it's something that we kind of touched on in the last podcast a little bit, is being the observer.
Yeah.
Watching those thoughts roll by, existing with that river of thought, right? And being able to grab that fucking thought as it passes and be like, why why, fucker? like why do I have to think like that? And being able to let that thought explain itself too, and be like, no, you're fucking worthless because you can't manifest shit. You can't fucking equate to anything. You never follow through on anything. You're late to work all the time. You are shit. Okay, fuck you. No, because I'm usually on time, right? Or like whatever the counter argument is. Like,
maybe some of that was right,
later.
but the rest of you suck. Right?
Yeah, fuck you. And you throw it back into the thought river, right? It's okay.
You know what's funny is one of those things that brings up, like me and Danley have had this weird conversation before. And it's so like strange to think of, but like me and Danley have talked about like, hey man, have you ever just like drove home in fucking complete silence? We're like, well, yeah, because I'm having a good-ass conversation with myself. Or you're actually, like, trying to deal with shit, right? And, like, you ask the majority of people, like, hey, dude, like, fuck no, I always am fucking just blaring music, right? Or, like, they can't just be alone with their thoughts, right? And like, for the longest time, I couldn't do that, right? Like, I would always have music on and stuff like that. And then, like, you know, like me, I'm fairly more new into, like, stuff like this, like learning to ask questions, like to myself, right? Because before I was always like, well, it's definitely fucking my fault, or like, you know, like I'm not gonna fucking ask somebody like what the fuck's going on with me. Like I'm just gonna deal with this shit by myself and figure it out. To the point where like I didn't talk to family, nobody, right? I just thought like this fucking none of this shit, and it's good to think to yourself, but also like if I didn't like meet Danley or somebody else, right? Like to like, hey man, it's okay to like wonder why you're feeling this way and shit, or like really think about it. And it's something that I'm still working through. But like, if like you don't learn about these things or like kind of like want to, or like, I guess now to me is like learn to like feel my emotions. Like it is something that like you fucking blow up on, you know,
dude. Big time. So the concept that you kind of touched on briefly there of like being alone with yourself and learning to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's a dude, I spent the majority of my young adulthood turning the radio up as loud as possible to suppress any sort of free time in my mind. If I can turn that shit up louder, drown out my mind, right? Sing along to a shitty song, whatever I can do, mitigate. Same with being in the gym. Gotta have music on. Can't fucking lift without it because it's the only thing that's fucking dividing me from my focus line of whatever that is, right? My cure, man, was hunting. And I usually go hunting alone. So it's, for me, just to be able to exist with myself taught me so much about self-reliance, where it's like, you gotta light your fire, bro. You gotta fucking feed yourself. You gotta remember to drink your water. Like, there's no one there with you.
Yeah.
Gotta address it. So being alone with yourself and turning down that radio, man, turning down all the fucking noise of the world for just 15 minutes and just know you for that brief moment. And what's really cool is I haven't met anyone that's come out of that and been like, yeah, I don't like me. Like everyone usually comes out of that type of thought process like, you know what? I kind of fucking like me. I'm kind of a cool guy. I'm a nice person. And you start to identify, in my experience, I started to like really get defensive over my good qualities the further I went alone. So when I would have intrusive thoughts or intrusive imageries, I was like, no, fuck that, dude. Like, you're a nice guy. Like, you're not a bully. You're not a piece of shit. You're not angry. You're okay. You usually react fairly rationally to most things. Like, it's okay, dude. And it became like this strange defensive stance that I took with myself, or what I would dictate as strange in the moment, of self-preservation.
You found a cornerstone and you fought for it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because in your mind, it's a void, bro. Like, it's like, it's free floating space and you can get lost in there. So like when I asked that question of like, who are you? Right? Are you a soldier? Juan, you guys remember this conversation. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
Are you a soldier? Are you a father? Are you a son? Are you a brother? Is that all you are? Is that everything? What is the whole that has no parts? And that's you. And when you're in that, like the woods and shit, and you're doing that, you know, self-exploration, whatever, you end up finding what you found, which is a cornerstone that you can stand on in there, in your own mind. Like, you're all right. I'm firmly planted right the fuck here. I know that this is good. I know.
And now you can observe.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have these boundaries around you now where like, all right, I'm not going to let anybody in here and tell me that this is fucked up. But it takes a lot, right?
Dude.
Because sometimes you have to like dismantle everything in you to get to that point, because there are some thoughts that you have or like beliefs where you're like, no, I'm going to die on this hill. And then a year later, you're like, wow, that was dumb. I can't believe I believed that. And then for me, like the basis comes back to like, just be nice, right? Just fucking be nice to people. And if they're not nice to you, that just means you don't have to deal with them. Fuck them.
Correct. Yep.
Let them fucking go over there.
Yeah.
Who gives a
And
shit?
that's another thing that a lot of people that I deal with on a coworker basis, they can't cut the bad fruit off the tree, man. They will let that toxic entity just continue to chew at them. And instead of being like, okay, you know what? Whatever you are, you have stopped serving me as a positive outcome.
Yeah.
You are now hindering me as an individual. And I wish those conversations could take place in a more healthy environment, being like, you were good for me in the instance that you were. And I'm not discrediting your comfort or your energy or your time, but you have stopped being beneficial to me. And unfortunately, like, if someone said that shit to me, I'd be like, bitch, like that hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
that would suck.
that's your approach is all wrong,
Correct.
bro. You're coming at my guy all wrong. What I'm going to tell you
Right?
is that you should say something along the lines of, bro, you're being like mad negative right now. Like, why are you doing
And
this?
that's usually the approach I take. It's like, what's up with the attitude right now, man?
Yeah, that's
What's
better.
going on? Like,
'Cause
what
that's
is
like
that?
That's that therapist question where they have to answer it for themselves. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah. Let them pick that out and be like, oh, I'm just grouchy today because I didn't sleep good. And then
that makes sense.
and then it's immediately followed by, and why do I deserve that? That's a question that I've asked a lot of people recently, dude. And I've started this. I think it's toxic, but I can't help myself now. Is that everything that people give to me, I give right back. You give me
No,
respect,
that's shitty.
respect right back.
That's toxic.
You're sassy and shit to me, dude. Sass right back. It's not healthy, dude. And I'm
Why don't
fully
you
aware-
take that philosophy of the police into your personal life, where it's
Because
like, you can't change me.
And so
Nothing that
that's
you do
exactly
changes.
what it is, right? So it's bracketing for my own fucking brain. I know exactly what I'm doing, dude. Is
Yeah.
that it used to be the exact opposite, that it's always friendly. Always. Always like, dude, someone could be a fucking ultra cunt to me. And I'm like, that's great, man. All right, let's move on with the day. And I went on for so many years doing that now it's like, okay, I'm going to bracket this shit so I can teach myself how to be like, you don't need my advice. You don't need anything from me, because if I give you what you give me, you don't fucking like it.
So it sounds like you found a cornerstone to stand
Yes.
on, and you're learning your boundaries,
Exactly, bro.
which is
So
healthy.
I'm telling you, 2021 has been my year of like mental development, dude. I mean, it has been extra fucking powerful for me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with just the climate of the world right now. It has a lot to do with my age. It has a lot to do with my professional decisions. It has a lot to do with a lot of things, but
Or maybe it was just time for all of this shit to come together.
and that's exactly what I was just about to say, man. Or maybe I just got sick of being so hateful. And all of my hate was inner, dude. Like, I'm not an angry guy. I don't spend a lot of time being a cunt unless it's road rage. I can't get over that. I'm always like, dude, I fucking lose my shit at old people on highways. Like, I can't help myself. It's not like I'm cutting them off, but I'll drive behind them and just lose my cool at my steering wheel, right? Still can't get over that one. Working on it, right? Of like, why am I in such a hurry? Thing comes back to anxiety, goal orientation. It was time for me to go home.
Yep,
You're preventing me.
Yep.
Stop it, right?
So you know
It's
why.
anxiety. Yeah, it's anxiety bullshit,
why.
man. Nevertheless, dude, so a lot of my action this year has been deliberate self-help, which is so much different than prior
Awesome.
years. Yes. And unfortunately, it took a moment that I got too close to dying. Unfortunately, it got to a point where I was going to kill myself. There was no
Same.
there's no sugarcoating it. Like, there's no getting around that. I fucking chambered up. I was ready to go. I had made all those decisions. I had crossed that bridge, and I just, like I just talked about, I got to a point where I physically could not do it because I was so fucking inebriated that I couldn't function as a human being anymore, right? after that point, it was something's gotta give.
Yeah.
So now it's been all just deliberate action from there, man. And it's been fucking
Messy.
incredible.
It's probably been messy, and it's been fucking a lot of failure and like hitting walls. And
one of the things that I'll warn others about is that I'm a believer that I do suffer from some form of a depression. I've never been diagnosed with it, but I feel those lows that aren't justifiably low.
Yeah.
Right? I feel those highs that are unjustifiably high. So there's a strange fear in my head that I am stuck in a manic depressive state right now, that I'm creating the solutions, being like, no, this is working, this is good, and then that castle collapsed.
Dude,
right?
that's the paranoia coming back.
Dude.
That's PTSD, dude. That's PTSD, and that's this feeling of like, it's that cognition of like, I don't deserve happiness. So the moment I feel happy, this isn't normal. This isn't okay. And what I used to do is I would take a fucking baseball bat and hit myself in the knee, so I would fall before life made me fall.
Correct.
I would just do self-destructive behaviors and ruin my shit before anybody else could ruin my shit for me.
So I brought that up as a word of warning to those that are about to embark on your own journey, right?
Yeah.
Don't think like that. They're going to be there, but realize that there's a difference between progress and fucking deliberate progress. So progress can be made. You can finish the meal. Like, you can cook the meal and finish the meal and be like, wow, look at that. I fed myself. And there's also learning to like eat healthy, right? These are two separate things. Yeah. You can finish the 130 count of pizza rolls, bro. Like, you can do it. Or you can fucking make your own rice and chicken and have a nice meal. And learning how to be in that way is more deliberate. It's more, I'm not here for the fucking fix. I'm here for the cure, bro.
And in that whole scenario you just outlined is like you're being with yourself. Yes. You're deliberately choosing to do something good for you. And that not only does it, you don't even have to tell yourself I'm doing it, but your mind and your body will feel that. Mm-hmm.
And it's just something to be mindful of for the ones that are about to go on it, dude. It's working, man. Like, that's what's nice, is that like, so there was a time, I think I said it on the last podcast, that I can feel myself on a physical bridge of passage. There is something occurring cognitively that it's like, I tie it to like with my cyclical thoughts, I'm finally building a fucking synapse bridge between those two to be able to cut that line and think in a new way. And it's powerful, man. It's an incredible experience. Don't really recommend it if you're not suffering through it. Don't put yourself in the boat. But if you are, get in the fucking boat, man.
I recommend it for everybody. Fuck that. Get in the boat.
Get in the boat.
Because if you can, let's just say there's some tiny little piece of yourself that you don't know is bad, and you can get marginally better. Would you not prefer to be marginally better?
Right.
Sure.
So
it becomes the cost benefit ratio, that if you're just a happy-go-lucky guy and you don't have that shit going on in the first place, like there's some people that have been fortunate to not experience the same dynamic of thought, right? Sure. I believe that they've probably experienced it to an extent, but it could have been as simple as like the intrusive thought was like, hey, maybe kill yourself. And they're like, no, that's dumb. And like, they were just able to suppress that immediately. You know what I mean? Like, those people are like a true fucking superhero, right? Yeah. Because that's like some real power, dude, for that not to start to manifest itself into self-destruction. So yeah, for that guy, I don't recommend it. If it's going to make you marginally better to be like, you know what, let's commit to the suicide train for a little bit and dive down that rabbit hole. I think it's nice to learn yourself, though. I think it's nice to experience yourself at a depth that you didn't know you had. Because there's a substantial difference in being intelligent and being emotionally intelligent, man. So I feel like I've experienced the majority of my adult life pretty ignorant to my own emotions, because I've intentionally put them in jars and stored them on shelves that I'm like, nope, never going to look at that one again. Yeah. Don't want to.
You mummified yourself?
Yes, dude. Yes, bro. So to be able to pull those out and open them and be like, all right, so let's deal with your childhood trauma A, and address it and look at it and work through it. Therapy was my catalyst to this, and I probably should go back to therapy at some point. I don't know if I'll go to the same therapist, just because I don't feel like her and I had the connection that I was desiring. Especially since I went in with the wrong mindset. I went in as like, I'm paying you as a confidant, don't become my friend. Like, that was it. So when she started calling me by my first name, dude, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, we're not supposed to be friends. You're supposed to be this medical professional that I can console with. And unfortunately, in my line of work, I couldn't be as honest as I should have been. Because if I say, like, I want to kill myself, she's going to have to report that. I lose my badge, I lose my gun, I go on desk duty, right? The guard then puts me on some sort of suicide watch, whatever the case is. So it's like, I was real hesitant with the words I picked. I downplayed a lot of shit and then exacerbated other things to make it like, no, this is my main issue. It's not my fucking suicidal thoughts. It's my fucking weird, avaricious, intrusive thoughts. That's it. No, not the suicide shit. I'm not serious about that. I don't have a plan. I've never fucking tried, you know, and a lot of lies were shared in that environment that unfortunately was just damning to myself. But I'll be damned if I lose where I've gotten professionally based on words. And that is a shitty place to be, because I know a lot of law enforcement guys and I know a lot of guys in the military that suffer from these thoughts that feel like they can't address them.
So what I ended up having to say is, like, I don't want to kill myself today, but if this keeps continuing, I don't know if I can say that tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then they went.
So it's a great way to word it.
They got me where I needed at that moment.
And so that's definitely a proof positive that there's a way to go about it and be honest, and you just have to articulate it correctly. So there are solutions presented to active duty military, active law enforcement, and then prior service as well. There's an avenue of approach. There's a way to solve your issues.
Yeah.
You don't have to be so hurt all the fucking time.
Need a safer bank. I've been saving change. I need some space. Chatting in my face. Get from around my way.